this evening. Excited because I have been given what to talk about. I have questions that have been asked by you, and that is all I'm going to talk about, so that we try and keep time. And before I continue, is just to appreciate the leadership, the founder and the team members of AYLF. You may never know how proud I am of you. Never. But albeit the fact that I may not be able to say that, allow me to repeatedly so and say that I love you people, I love what you do, and that is why there is the testimony of the people that I was working with around me. I work with young people throughout, and I just whipped them, and before I whipped them, they had already planned to come. And that is why you see a whole table around there. It is because of how much I love you that when we were forming the most unique party in this country, I chose to ask the leader of this organization, give me an AYLF member to lead this organization, because it's not about me, it's about what is the future for this country. That's how I hung around with Lone Felix. When I had other people that we had professional openings, that is how we have Brian. I know there are about 5 openings coming up, and I can assure you, unless there is no one to fit the bill in my AYLF, there will still be an AYLF member and team members. I love you guys. My first question. So I must. Who is Dr. Green? And I am guided here, and I was warned ahead of time. Nikaambiwa useme ukweli. Hawa ni watu wanataka kuambiwa ukweli. Sio story ya kuangalia kwa huko. Inaitwa nini siku hizi ile watu wanachungulia? ChatGPT, sijui nini. Tunataka vitu za ukweli. So here I'm told, here share about your journey of growth, especially from the point where you are ready for employment. Who is Dr. Green? It's not just by imagination. My name, you can harvest a 3-inch size of a cow horn that is solid, because that is what the Japanese used to make their own personalized stamps. And I went there. I have gone to Banyankole. I have had car busts and put grass inside a tire bust, moving into places that were dangerous for my life and doing things. Moving into car business where I lost a lot of money, cheated, got into contract that did not have the contact of the person who signed, and I was there. Kuite ujinga, ni kweli, ni sawa. Please read my book when it is out very soon. And a lot of things, moved into other businesses. Today I sit on a name that I changed the other day because I found and appreciated that I should not share glory with God this week. For many years I've been called a founder of Green Africa Group. And I asked myself, how is it possible for one to found all this? And the world knows me. Even when you go to my website today, it's yet to be changed. The founder, it's kaluagreen.com, because I'm not going to introduce myself more. You're going to read that. I changed my name from founder because I realized that I'm sharing glory with God. I became chief steward, and I dropped the name founder because God has enabled my organization to be in various sectors. One, in the automotive sector. We are seated here with the CEO of the company called Autopax, which is the company that has created the yellow car that was driven by the president during the climate change. I am the chairperson of Honda in Kenya. I have many other sectors that I am part of. I'm saying this to glorify God. Also in the sector of hospitality, where we have the CEO seated here of Bamboo Place, which you must visit and see. There are places in Malindi, Nairobi, and Kitui. and coming other places. In the sector of shipping and logistics, Africa Forwarding Agency. In the other sectors of renewable energy, and all these organizations leading to impact in various institutions that you'll be able to find what we are doing. I've answered that question. What motivates, and I do it first so that maybe I can have a short opportunity for you to ask questions. What motivates you to do what you do? Purpose, because I have a purpose for life. That is why I gave you the meaning of the name green. If nothing fits the bill that I work for, zero, I will not start the journey. So purpose keeps me going. Secondly, persistence, because I've realized and appreciated nothing works if you are not persistent. Nothing. Thirdly, I continue to do what I do because I have realized that patience takes me there. So it's 3 P's: purpose, persistence, and patience. For what? To impact the younger community, in these words, for God's glory, to take us to the next level. My hand was held, and I believe I have a right and I have the responsibility, God-given responsibility, to take others in a direction that they may not be able to make it by their own. Question number 3. Share on the hurdle. Share one hurdle in your professional life that was instrumental to your profession. Interesting. I think poverty drives me, honestly speaking. You know, I have sat around. I started business when I was young. I am more than 30 some years in business doing things, and I've come to realize that one thing keeps us going: money. Let's be realistic. You may have all the passion to do everything that you want to do. You may have all friends and networks that you may need to do what you need to do. But at the end of the day, you must pay the 3,000 shillings that has enabled us to meet here to eat. Or someone did that, and that is money. I was chased from school at the age of 14. My father was a preacher man. I passed very well to be in one of the top schools that the country could ever have. He could not afford to take me there as a prison's warder, and therefore he had to recommend me to his preacher man, headmaster or principal by the name Mr. or Reverend Mutinda, alias Karabai, as we would call him. 1 year passed, there was no fees. 2nd year passed, there was no fees. Towards the end of the year, he asked me to go home and ask his friend to pay for school fees. I got home. My father had just retired from prisons, and he was tendering some flowers and plants in a place called Githurai. Having gone to Kitui and back, I would cook with him in a tin of cowboy, 2 kg. If you want to ask how life can treat you, please ask me, because it takes some skill and experience to use 1 tin of 2 kg cooking with firewood in Githurai and be able to cook ugali and thereafter some sukuma wiki for food. For your information, if you want to understand, You cannot cook ugali first and then cook sukuma wiki. I have that knowledge. Hello. So I got home and my father told me, "Hello, Isaac. Yes, my son. I know you have been sent home. Thank you. And I understand what could be happening. If Mutinda has sent you home, then it is really serious. Now, all that you're going to do is to take your mother's only cow. This is the only moving asset in this family. Walk it down to a marketplace called Kabati in Kitui. It was around almost about 20-some kilometers from my place. In my school life and my younghood, I never got on foot with a cow. First of all, shocker, when my father retired, we were sent to Unya Primary School, where I arrived in shoes, and I was told, "Sorry, the school do not allow shoes, so you please, next time, don't come with shoes, because that is reservation for the teacher." So I start walking on foot. Mnaanza cheka tu. It's okay. That's a story for a different day. And I'm given a cow, take it to the market. I had never, ever in my life taken care of a cow. Wacha kupeleka kwa marikiti. On the 15th kilometer, the cow disconnects itself from the rope and runs on a dry riverbed for 2.5 hours. If you want to experience what I went through, please try to run on a dry riverbed, traditional. Si ile huko kwa bahari, where sand is that much, and you are running one step, which means maybe half a step, because you are going back and forth. 2.5 hours. When I was running after this, people would imagine I was running after a cow, but I was actually running after my life. If that cow disappeared, having been the last asset in the home, my school, my everything would have, so I ran for my life. Mucus all over me, crying until cry is over, until a point I will never forget in my life, a woman who dropped her firewood and threw a rope to me. Help this young kid. And I'm crying, everything. Eventually I get it, a hold on the root of a sycamore tree, and held the cow's foot as it tried to go up. And I said, "Nikufia hapo," I would have been split. Got the cow back at 14, took it to the market. At that point, the mzee who was sent with me, his name was Kamundi Nzungu, he said that he really told me everything that he needed to tell a misbehaving boy. That I did not come to the time. He did not want to know where I was. I tried to make him understand I was only looking for one soda called Fanta and a mandazi of that market. He denied me. I cried. Crying because I am trying to make this man understand it's not my fault. It's nothing to do with me. And eventually, we sold the cow. The fees was paid. I later realized that my father had a debt that was to be paid, and that is why this mzee was sent, so that he can be given the money. And he came by bus, I went by foot. That drives me. I fear poverty. I keep starting something new that can make me better. I would hate to see my children go through what I went through. I keep fighting for that. Question number 4. How much money is enough money? Isn't that a good question? The response to such a question normally is almost automatic. That no money is enough money. Money is not what makes us going. Money is not. You've heard all those answers, isn't it? So to that, which I say is good, because it depends on where you're standing, I wanted to say, one, you need to create a plan for yourself on what you want to achieve in life. Money being not enough. So define your goals. What do you want to be? What do you want to become? What do you want to get? What do you want to get a budget on how you want to get there? Unless you have a budget in life. And being an accountant is not what it means that you have a budget. Today, out of mistakes and money that I have lost before, I have a love for lawyers. I protect my people. I protect anyone who is near me, because one silly sentence in a whole contract could mean everything to you. So if you don't take this lady seriously, I recommend to you that you take her seriously. And any lawyer in your life, and anyone who has got some background. Have I exhausted my time? Should I stop now? Okay. So, that does not mean that you have that. So please consider a budget. Then consider the next item is to consider your lifestyle and your values. Because life is so interesting, by the way. Life is like business. Any successful business in life, you must sell more services or products and reduce your cost. Life calls for you to have more fulfillment and end up with less in terms of miscalculations and things that are not right. So more fulfillment and leading to more efficiencies. More fulfillment and less inefficiencies in achieving what you are doing in life. So you got to drive that. Then, of course, you have to build an emergency fund, and then at the end of it, have a future that is assured out of what you have saved. Then life and money starts making sense. So yes, there can be enough money if you are not running from poverty like I keep doing every now and then, but at least you can have a base of creating something that will lead you to, because you have a purpose, you are persistent to what you want to achieve, and eventually you have a goal that you have to achieve, and the future is assured. So don't just imagine there is no money that is enough. That is a good answer, but at least have a format of getting out there. The next question is, share with us how can youth launch a prosperous life? And I will combine it. Let me see what number 6, which is the final one, lest I bore you. It talks about advice. Or did I answer that one? No? So how can youth launch a prosperous life, and advice to someone who is setting up a company, foundation, and project? Those were the questions. So I'll leave you with a tool, so that when we meet next time, we check with each other. It's a tool that I have found to be very useful. This is where you take your notebook, because it is 30 years, 34 years now of what I have come up with. It's a simple one. It's MPR. 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 M stands for mistakes. Make as many mistakes as you can. Attract as many mistakes as you can ever do. Enjoy making mistakes as you can ever enjoy. Only choose never to repeat one mistake. One. And with this, I want to request you to keep a journal. That is why I asked you to pick a pen. Pick a journal of mistakes that you make in a day. Every day, if a day ends and you don't make a mistake, count it a day that did not exist in your lifetime. I repeat, if a day ends and you have not made a mistake that you noticed, count it a void day in your life. And you should never have a void day in your life. This is what I mean. You say that you're waking up at 5 a.m. and you are the same one. Come 5 a.m., you're snoozing that phone. Ask yourself, why? Did I overindulge last night? Did I do something wrong? Look at your program now. What time does it say? Is that a mistake or not a mistake? Is it not somebody's mistake? Take note. Avoid what you did not take right last time. Start the meeting in time if it were 3 people who are in place. End the meeting in time. Let those who value enjoy that. They will always be there with you to start with you in the next meeting. That's the mistake I'm talking about. I made mistakes for 10 years. 10 years. A decade of mistakes. You'll be able to find this in my book. And they keep graduating. As you graduate, you get to know more about what I'm talking about. Number 2, P. Be a problem solver. Be a problem solver. Every single day, keep a journal of the problems that you intend to solve or the problems that you can solve even now while we are here. You will find a list of enough problems. If a day ends and you don't notice a problem, then you are the problem. And I mean every problem. So you must be able, your mind must be alert. What problem have I identified right now? Let me give you an analogy of problem solvers in my own making. If a snake appears here, you know there are trees here, right? Do you know that we will disintegrate into 4 immediately? The first group will run mpaka huko Valley Road kwa kanisa wakiingia kwa church. They did not see even the snake. They only heard some commotion and immediately they take off. Ask them what happened. Sijui ni nini ime happen, Swiss. But I am so sure that thing is so bad. The second group will run to the gate outside there. I told you, a snake. Chairman. Niliwaambia, hiyo imetoka kwa mfuko ya chairman. Anajiita Bishop bure. I am telling you hapo ni kwanza uliona watu walikuwa wamevaa mask. I told you these things. And they will talk there until later following day. The third group is an interesting group. With their phone. Iko wapi hiyo nyoka? Hata sio kupiga picha. Snake in a first floor in a hotel. What can I do? Na anangojea sasa atafute solution. You haven't reached the solution point that I'm talking about. The final stage is very important. The last, and that will be 2 people or 1 person. They'll take a seat, hit the head of the snake, or one crazy guy like me will look for a bag and put the snake inside and take it to KWS. That is the kind of a problem solver I'm talking about. Hello? Problem solving. So iko wenye wamesema hao ni wa kukimbia, ni sawa. And you are still valid, but I'm talking about problem solving at that last point. Finally, the M. The R, sorry. Respect for other people. Respect for other people. In whatever you think you're so good at, God has made that other person so good in another thing that you have no clue about. Respect them. Respect them. Never despise anyone. The solution to the biggest problem that you have could be that askari, or even that smoker outside your house, or even that mtu wa magazeti, or even the cleaner. By the way, that's my father. He introduced me to trees at that age. So never ask me where my profession started.